Welcome back. It's Too Early, Season 2, Episode 6. My name is Lonnie,
Naya,
Bree,
and Nelly.
And we are back with a new series, giving light to everything that's going on, our Black stories. And today we're talking about cancel culture, who's canceled, what's canceled, all of that good stuff. So we can now go into our Real Talk Friday.
Yeah. So Real Talk Friday was who's uninvited to the cookout and why. So some answers. Chick-fil-A on there. Who said that? It's necessary. Oh, Nessa got it, guys.
Necessary.
But it's an underscore, so I was like, okay. Yeah. What else? Somebody said our favorite food places. We need more explanation, sis. Devin Maurice said everybody that's not black. That's a stretch, guys. That's a stretch. Jaya Bowden said B. Simone. We're going to get into that.
We're going to talk about that.
Who else? T.I. Jim Bunny said T.I. Yeah, T.I. is canceled, guys. I have to support that. And somebody else said T.I.
I have some from my story, from my personal story. Trina, Starbucks. That's a hard one, but they canceled. Pretty Little Things, Doja Cat, and of course somebody said B. Simone and the baby. Like they put them together, so I don't know.
I don't really know what's been going on with the baby. I haven't really been following that whole thing.
I haven't seen him speak out on it, which is why I feel like maybe people are canceling him. But I also feel like there's other people with platforms that haven't spoken out. So I don't know if I'm on board for canceling the baby. I need receipts. So if y'all got receipts, send them our way. So because I feel like during this time, one thing I've been learning is once you receive education and information, it is okay to change your opinion. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a big part of like cancel culture. Like I see some of it, but then some of it I'm like, y'all don't even give people a chance. Like it's automatically one mistake and you're canceled. So at some point there has to be room for error. People are human. Now some things that people say that get them canceled are out of pocket, but some things are literally just they're ignorant to the information. So
yeah, I feel like I changed my mind on a lot of people just because like you said, everybody's human. Everybody gonna make a mistake. Yeah. Everybody is not educated about the black community.
And new information comes up every single day, every single minute. So, like, you may learn something now, and then 5 minutes later, you may learn something the complete opposite and have a different opinion on it. So, I don't know. I think people are taking cancel culture not way too far, but a little too far when it comes to certain things and certain people. But, I mean, and then also some people who cancel certain things get criticism for that. Like, if they're canceling, say, for example, Chick-fil-A, people are like, oh, you shouldn't cancel Chick-fil-A. Or if they're not canceling Chick-fil-A, it's like, oh, you should cancel Chick-fil-A. They did this, they did that. But I feel like everybody should have their own decision on what they want to cancel, who they want to cancel.
And people be saying they canceling stuff and they don't be canceling.
No, just because you don't post, right? You supporting it, or they don't want. Sneaky. I mean, they're not out of business because literally, if every black person stopped supporting something, they would go out of business or bankrupt, and that's a whole nother conversation. But back to celebrities and influencers that are being canceled. I think B. Simone is like the biggest one that I've seen so far.
She can't win it.
And so much.
And a whole...
Yeah. So how do y'all feel? From the beginning, her original statement of essentially she's gonna leave it to God and she's gonna pray about it, and that's that. What are y'all thoughts on that?
But can we talk about why she was canceled first?
Yeah.
Oh, before?
Just in case people don't know.
About the book? What? I don't even know.
I was going to say, there's layers to it. I think I'm not sure if this was like the beginning, but I think when I first heard of the situation was about her whole book situation. Where she literally plagiarized everything in her book.
Right.
But I think then she claimed that she didn't know.
They hired a team to write her book, but you can't call something yours and you don't have a hand in it. But that's my opinion. So.
But people do. I will say people do have writers' rooms, but I feel like you should at least be reading through your book. Like you telling me you didn't proof it?
She didn't read it at all.
Like what?
She just put something on the website.
That's crazy.
But no, I thought that the was first. That her statement about Black Lives Matter I thought that came first, and then people were in her about that, and then the book, and then her 9 to 5 statement.
Oh, I don't know. It was just, everything was just happening back to back, so I don't really know.
It's a lot
to
keep up with.
So regardless, I do feel that Black people especially have a lot of grace with non-Black businesses, and even from shipping and returns and sizes, stuff not fitting, stuff not working, a lot of grace happens for non-Black owned businesses. So she was dead wrong, and I do believe she's canceled, but in conjunction with everything else, not just because of her book, but based on just the book. Yeah, she was dead wrong. She should have, her apology didn't really do anything for me. But if that was another person, I don't feel like people would, don't buy anything from her anymore. Right. And I feel like for example, Fashion Nova, they have sent me stuff several times that I haven't got my money back for. Their customer service is terrible. Like, I can go on and on about that. But at the end of the day, that one incident did not stop me from shopping at Fashion Nova. So I try to look at it from that perspective, in the sense that we have to have grace with our people the way we do with all these other people and businesses, because there are so many white celebrities that have said things out of pocket. We still watching their movies. What is his name? He's in all the movies, but apparently he's been convicted for like a hate crime, and he's still be in movies. And I'm a work on getting his name. But yeah,
I don't know. B. Simone, I never really paid much attention to her, but one thing I will say is I feel like she lets her industry make her think that she can say stuff that she really can't. Like, as a comedian, a lot of them, and it's true for a lot of them, but not for her, that they can say stuff that regular people can't, because people are going to take it a certain way. But at this point, that's not true for you. Like, it's been proven that you cannot compare yourself to the Dave Chappelles and the Marlon Wayans, because people are not going to take it the same way. So she just keep putting her foot in her mouth, thinking that people are going to be like, oh, she's a comedian, I understand it's a joke. No, people are not understanding it's a joke, sis.
I think she's letting the fame and the influence and the impact that she has on a certain group of people get to her head, for her to think that she can say any and everything that she wants to out her mouth, and think that nobody's going to criticize her for it. I mean, it's kind of similar to like her whole 9 to 5 comment.
He can't have a 9 to 5.
What? Why not? You don't want him to have an honest job?
I mean, he could be a hustling entrepreneur.
So you want him to be you want CEO status?
Yes.
Okay, he can't
so
like, he can't clock in and clock out.
No.
Damn, B.
I think
Simone.
entrepreneurs should date entrepreneurs.
Okay, but still, there's people who have really good jobs with vocational skills. If he's a mechanic,
I'm sure, but no, you're not going to understand my lifestyle. You're not going to understand why I'm up at 3 a.m.
Damn, you're making this hard for me. Okay, all right.
You know, he has to be an entrepreneur.
A business owner.
It was a whole like two-sided thing where a lot of people were criticizing her for it, but also a lot of people were saying like, you know, I kind of understand her comments as far as if you're a business owner, you want to date and marry like a business owner because they understand like your work ethic and your work schedule. But at the same time, it was almost like within her comment, it was almost like she was downplaying people who do work a 9 to 5, because realistically, some people either don't want to be business owners, or some people just aren't capable of that. Like, they're more happy and more stable being at a 9 to 5 job, because they can basically like, that's them, that's their life. So I don't know, what do y'all think?
I think we just have to be careful, kind of what Bree was saying earlier. Like, I feel like cancel culture at first, when everything started popping off, it was like on every time somebody said something, like, what you say, how'd you say it, like I was really on it like that, and you know, silence is speaking loud and stuff like that. But then I kind of had to sit back, and I'm like, first of all, for a lot of people, this is like, well, on a big scale, we've never been through something like this, like as a nation, with the pandemic, with this, with that, blah blah blah. But I have a lot of white friends that were just like, I'm scared to speak because anything I say is not going to be right. And I started having to take a look at myself and be like, just because you're silent, like, I don't believe that a post means that you are for the culture and that you can come to the cookout. And I feel like it started to kind of turn into like, oh, if your friends aren't posting, that means that they're canceled. They can't do anything. Or this celebrity's not saying anything, like they're canceled. But like, what else are they doing? A post can only go but so far. All it does is really spread awareness and stuff like that, which is great. But I don't feel like that should automatically cancel that person. Now, B. Simone, whatever she's saying, I honestly have not been keeping up because it's just too much in my mental. I can't, deal with all that. But I feel like certain things you just like should not say because it's a sensitive time. Like whether you're trying to be funny or not, you have to know when the time and place is. And I feel like she just been willy-nilly like boom, boom, boom. I'ma just say whatever and understand that people are going to be very sensitive. Like the J. Cole situation with the song, I'm like, what are y'all getting at? Because I felt personally, for one, I listen to him all the time. Two, he's an artist. You can't take everything verbatim and be like, this is exactly what he means. You have to look at the whole entire thing. And also, I don't feel like celebrities should be the spokespeople for what's going on. I feel like the people who are actually have their boots on the ground should be the ones that are speaking up. Not saying that they shouldn't, but we shouldn't be looking at them to do something. Like, they're people as well. So that's my little 2 cents on just cancel culture. I feel like we got to be kind of careful. Just because somebody says one thing doesn't mean, oh my God, cancel that person. I think what you said was like perfect with black people really being harder on other black people, but giving grace to everybody else. I don't know if it's taught because we're like, taught not to really fight against certain things like that. But for me, that's like what I've been trying to think of. Like, let me not cancel you yet. Let me see how you handle yourself accordingly. And then
we gotta learn how to pick our battles.
Yes.
We do not know how to pick our battles. We sit on social media.
Quick.
We could be doing other stuff. Like, people really be sitting on social media for hours talking about cancel culture. You could have filled out 10,000 petitions by now. I mean, come on. You wasting your time talking about other folk.
Yeah, you gotta let people make mistakes, because then it's like, let's say 4 white people, they try to say something, but it's the wrong thing. They're going to get ate up regardless. Like, there is no way around it. You just going to have to go for it and learn through that. But we also can't be so harsh on them if they are trying to learn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think, go ahead.
No,
I think that kind of ties into the whole J. Cole situation. Because listening to his song, he was... I don't agree with the whole he's putting black women down, he's trying to criticize black women, things like that. I don't agree with that. I'm not going to cancel J. Cole. I'm still going to listen to him. That's that. But I think what he was trying to say is a lot of the situations that he's encountered where he's been trying to be educated on certain things, he's been approached with a harsh feedback, like sense of feedback. And I think that kind of ties into where black people are so hard on other black people, because it's like, I've noticed that some black people are like, well, if you don't know this, you don't know that, like, what are you doing? You at home during this quarantine, you could be educating yourself, you could be doing this, you could be doing that. But in reality, some people just don't know. They just aren't that disciplined to educate themselves. Now, I'm not saying that it's okay to do that, because sometimes, yes, you should educate yourself on certain things, especially if you're passionate about a certain movement, just like Black Lives Matter. But at the same time, I don't think you should be so harsh on somebody just because they're not educated about a certain topic. I think it should be more of a learning experience to say, hey, this is what you don't know and this is what I know, let me teach you.
But also as the teacher, I feel like also what he was saying was, you have the knowledge and you're preaching to people that already like have the same type of mindset as you, but instead of like plant the seeds like where you grew up, you know what I mean? Like, we're all out here trying to fight, but we also have to look behind us where we come from and start to build there and start to educate there, so that by the time our community does get of age, they understand what's going on and they can speak politically correct. They can speak from knowledge instead of just speaking solely off of emotion, and it becomes ignorant, and then it becomes this and that and a whole bunch of fighting. So I just personally feel like he also was trying to say, like, with all the knowledge that like, let's try to like cater it a little bit differently, because a lot of people who are already in their like mind states and behaviors don't hear as well. Like, you gotta kind of cater to your audience the way that you want your message to be, put or taken.
But I do feel like, yes, there's a lot of information out there, and like access to information is literally at the tip of our fingers. But at the same time, there's a lot of false information out there too. Like, just think of the history we learned in school. I've learned more about Black history in the past 3 to 4 weeks than I did in school. I learned about Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, Thurgood Marshall. Like, you know, the same 7 to 10 people. So it's like, it's kind of hard to determine, and I'm speaking as someone who's still learning about my history every day. Sometimes it's hard to determine what's the truth, what's been whitewashed, so like there's a lot being thrown at us, and that's why, again, this word grace and like being able to educate each other and not put each other down for not knowing, because we weren't raised in a culture that taught us our history. So why are we expected to know all of this? Like, if you know that, you should be sharing it instead of like yelling it at it. Like, why are you screaming history at me instead of teaching me history? But in terms of J. Cole, I think that one line is what really got him like messed up, the whole like watch your tone, Black Queen, or whatever the exact line is. And that for me kind of like, I'm not canceling J. Cole. I don't think he deserves to be completely canceled. However, I do always feel like the Black woman is expected to calm down, and like I personally just feel like that line was unnecessary, because why?
I think I took it just how you just said it. Stop screaming at me and just tell me. I think that's how I took it. It was like, oh, watch your tone. Like, I don't need you to scream. I just need you to talk to me like a normal person.
Or instead of like, watch your tone, you doing too much kind of thing, it's like, hold on, queen, like maybe you can go about it this way, because it is a like known thing that it's like Black women are aggressive and they're loud and stuff like that. So maybe like if we switched our perspective to be like, maybe he's being like, they already think you're going to be aggressive and stuff like that, change your tone a little bit and maybe it'll be received that way. But I don't think it was like, shut up, boom.
Well, see, but then you have to look. So like, one thing I've really been trying to do is like look from each perspective. Think about all the times your mama has told you to watch your tone. She not telling you to watch your tone nicely, like it's a watch your tone before you get smacked. So like, I try to see it from all angles. Like, that word kind of just has negative connotation to it. So it's like, especially in the Black culture, like your mama tell you watch your tone is because you probably about to get popped in your mouth.
But I think that's projection. Like, I say this all the time, like in the business world, when we read emails, we reading it in our own kind of like thoughts and perspective and like voice. But really, and that's why it's so dangerous how you word stuff, because people can read it how they want to read it, and that's completely not what you meant. So that's like a form of projection, taking what you know, not traumatized by, but what you learned as a young person, or, you know, how you grew up, and projecting it on somebody else, where really that was a big moment of vulnerability for him, like to even just make a song like that, or even address Black women like that, because I'm sure he knew that, you know, he would get some feedback like that, and I'm sure he knew that people wasn't going to take it how he meant it, but he did it anyway. And so it's kind of like, just like you said, looking through different perspectives, we have to step in his shoes and go, okay, maybe he didn't mean it like that. This is very vulnerable for him. Let's, you know, cut him some slack.
But that's why I said that I personally am not canceling J. Cole. Like, it's something that, now, that's going to be in the back of my mind. So, like, I'm going to watch what he does in the future. But that's what I'm saying about that grace. It all goes back to that. Like, why are we canceling this Black man after one song, when, like I said, the actor I was talking about is Mark Wahlberg. When he was 15, he chased 3 Black children while yelling, kill the N-word, and throwing rocks at them. But how many Mark Wahlberg movies have people watched and supported?
And people swear that Mark Wahlberg is for Black people.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't have grace with each other, but we have grace for other people. But I wanted to go back to what Naya was saying about celebrities not being the voice, because again, like I said, looking from different perspectives, Ariana Grande, who is a Starbucks fanatic, after they put out what they put out, she visited a Black-owned coffee shop, posted it, and they got 150 customers in 29 minutes. So it's like, I see what you're saying. They shouldn't be the spokesperson, but they have the platform to impact change. So it's a rocky line to whether, like, that's why people put so much pressure on them to speak, because it's like, you have the platform. No matter how bad I post and post petitions and keep posting, my 4,000 followers aren't unless every single one of them, right,
Right.
versus someone who has 10, 20, 30 million followers. The reality is what they post gets more traction and they're going to get better feedback.
Yeah, I definitely agree. But also, like, what are you posting? Are you posting what everybody else is posting? Or are you doing something like Ariana Grande did and you actually took action and posted what you were doing versus, like, let's just keep reposting, like, this weird thing with Breonna Taylor that it's becoming, like, a weird meme where it's like, you know, like, we're still keeping it aware and we're still kind of keeping it in the limelight, but like what else are we doing? We could say Breonna Taylor all day, but what action is that doing? Like, are we still signing petitions? Are we still calling people, emailing, like whatever the case is? So I definitely agree with what you're saying. I'm just saying in terms of looking to a celebrity, be like, oh, you didn't say anything, that must mean that you're not with us and blah blah blah. Like, well, maybe they're donating a whole bunch of money and they don't feel the need to be like, okay, let me post on Instagram so you know. You know, so
I think a lot of people also criticize celebrities on the other end because certain celebrities, if they post, oh, I donated a certain amount of money to a fund, it's like, oh, well, you really not for black people, you just want that for show.
Right.
So it's kind of like it's a thin line because some celebrities may not feel the need, like you said, to post on social media because they feel like they're going to be criticized for it, like you know, with whatever, like. Damned if I don't, damned if I do. Like, it's,
but looking on the other hand, you still have to find a way to be like supportive and unfortunately like let people know that you're in their corner. So whichever way you decide to do that varies, but that goes right back to what Bree was saying in terms of grace. Like, you can't just like go like this every single time somebody opens their mouth. Like, you have to give that space in order for there to be a conversation, education, and, you know, support given. Because if somebody posts, you know, something 3 times a day, that could mean that they're really for the culture, but I bet you somebody on the other half is like, well, you just posting, like, it's repetitive, like, it's too much, you know.
Yeah, you're never going to please everyone, and especially in the environment of cancel culture. And I just wanted to redirect the conversation to the video, the Red Table Talk, with Jada, and they were talking about cancel culture and this idea of, oh, if you don't get canceled, then you're not popping for real. And I hated that. What is her name that's in the video?
Something. Start with a T.
Tamia?
I was gonna say
it was like Talea or
Tamika D. Mallory. And I don't even know who she is.
I don't either.
Right. So,
I mean, I recognize her face, but like.
But she said she had been canceled several times, but like that idea of if you don't get canceled, then you're not popping. I feel like it's so toxic and it's so dangerous. Yeah.
I didn't take it that way. I took it like they were joking, but in a sense that like a lot of people that do get canceled are the ones that are shaking the floor when they say something or they do something. So I took it as like, if you're not out there saying something, or if you haven't said something that's out of line or out of the regular, then like you ain't popping. But like kind of jokingly. So they both have done things that have caught the limelight and have been criticized and stuff like that, just to mean like we have done stuff that's out there that's shaking the floor. Like, we're not scared of just being like, oh, let me fall in line and do what everybody else is doing. It's like, no, we're gonna have this conversation. If I get canceled for it, I get canceled for it, whatever. Like, if you haven't been canceled, that just means you haven't really jumped out there to do anything. That's how I took it.
Well, see, I don't know what she was canceled for, so I can't. Right.
Tamika? Oh yeah, I don't know, but
so I feel
she's
like
an activist though, so I'm assuming something in that realm of.
Okay, but still, I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about it. I didn't take it like it was a joke or like it was like I felt like she meant it. Because she had herself has been canceled.
That's how it happens on Twitter, like in social media. Like, one person take it one way, the next person take it the other way, and then it'd be like blah blah blah.
And that's why social media is dangerous. Yeah. Like, people aren't really getting canceled.
But I also watched the full episode, and like leading up to that, it was like they were saying cancel culture is so dangerous, and we got to give people grace and stuff like that. And then it was kind of like, well, I've been canceled. Oh, well, you know, you ain't popping if you were canceled. It kind of like went on that way too. So
that's the dangerous part of social media. When you clip stuff, people can take it the wrong way, and then people don't take the time to go look at full videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, who are y'all canceling? Like, who are celebrities that you're like, yeah, I just can no longer support, given the situations? I think this one's hard because Trina got old bangers, but Trina is Trina got some old good old songs.
She got a couple of them.
But Trina is definitely canceled. She tried it.
I tried to hear her. I really tried, but every time I was like,
nah.
It just was rubbing me all types of wrong ways.
Nah.
I'm like, you can't just say it's. What got me the most was it's just another dead body. It don't matter if it was shot by the police, the brother, sister. I'm like, huh?
But the sad part is, like, that's a hood mentality. Like, a lot of people who grow up in that environment, that's really how they think.
Right.
And that's just, like, one person you've seen it from. But it's several millions of people who grow up in the hood who think like that.
Like, in her head, she didn't see anything wrong with it because she's grew up around that type of environment.
Yeah.
But see...
But I understand because in this day and age, you have to form your words differently. Like, you have to change your mindset about certain things.
But you want people to show their true colors. It's just, like, shocking. It's like, you are a black woman, and you really telling me that a black man dying in a car accident is the same as a black man dying with a police knee on his neck?
And I think it's almost contradicting because that's her mindset because she's from the hood, but it's also because you're from the hood, you should have a different mindset. Like, because I'm just a little baffled at the fact that you would think that certain way and say, oh, that dead body is just another dead body, when you're from the hood and you know how people from the hood get treated by police as well. So
to play devil's advocate, because I told y'all I was really trying. I was pulling it out my butt. Like, I'm trying. She did say something like she had just lost her brother recently or something like that. And part of me kind of heard just a lot of pain. So, like, even growing up in the hood and seeing a lot of black people dying or, you know, just like your community dying. And I'm not excusing anything because I still cancel her myself. But to see that and, like, almost get desensitized to the fact, like, it's just another body, like, whether it happened here, boom, like, we dying anyway. Like, I feel like there was also a component of, like, just hurt and kind of desensitized of, like, the climate of what's going on. It's just kind of like, well, he dead, she dead, like, we all gonna die. Like, that's just kind of what happens. And unfortunately, I feel like there's a lot of people that think that way. Like, up until now, there's been so many, like, cases with police brutality. And you kind of just be like, oh, there goes another one. Oh, there goes another one. You know what I mean?
I do feel like George Floyd was what broke the camel's back. I do feel that way because even with Ahmaud, it just felt like people went out and protested for a weekend and then it got real silent again. But this was like, it was to finally, like, people can't take but so much. So I think that was just like,
and it was different because it wasn't like a black man got shot by police. Like it was literally a video of person-to-person contact with a knee on somebody's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds.
We watched him die.
So I think it was different because of the fact that it just wasn't another shooting.
It was something you couldn't ignore.
Right.
And it's something that you can't excuse or you can't say that, well, maybe it's on video. If they catch somebody breaking into somebody's house and it's on camera, they gonna arrest that person and they gonna go to jail. They got hard evidence. You might as well take a plea deal. But no, it took riots and protests and looting for them to even get arrested, and they're out on bail. Was one of them out, but regardless, like, why are they out on bail? So it's like, it's just like, you have the video, like, it literally doesn't get any more clear than that. So yeah, I just can't see how you can look at that video and say it's just another man dying. Like, I can't do it. And then another thing that irritates me about when people say stuff like that and then they try to come back and apologize, only because, and I'm gonna use this as an example because it's such an extreme. Donald Trump, do not support him. He got to get out of the office. Like, please go vote. But one thing, when this man says something, he never goes back and tries to, like, he shows his true colors. And that's one thing I will say is, like, if you're going to feel that way and stand on it. Don't try to come back and, oh, you're for the people now because you got tore down and you got criticized. So that whole apology, I'm tired of hearing the apologies. I'm tired of people saying, oh, I wasn't educated. You need to get educated before you speak. I mean, but the coming back and, like, I'm sorry. Like, she literally said they were out there acting like animals.
I'm sorry, but I like my racist. Like, if you gonna be blue, be blue. If you gonna be purple, be purple. Like, please, that whole, like, even in the dance industry, I don't know, I'm pretty sure we talked about, like, the Nicole Kirkland situation. There's been a lot of calling out in the dance community, which has been, I don't want to say entertaining, but like I appreciate the guy JR, because he has every Monday done a whole live, and they've done different things talking about like the use of the N-word, you know, a lot of these choreographers that use the N-word, or, you know,
profit off black dancers, like all of that, and aren't actually with the movement. So the whole thing with Nicole, I'm gonna give you two different examples. There was Nicole and then there was Fifi, right? Both of them were being like criticized for using the N-word. I have heard Nicole say the N-word in class, and you know.
But does anybody check her?
Exactly.
At the time, no. But see, that's the thing. Nobody checks her. The people around her, you know, oh, blah, blah, blah. But as soon as all of this happened, then it wanted to be like, okay, well, she does this, she does this. Whatever started the conversation, I'm glad that we're having it, because a lot of people have felt uncomfortable. And I'm glad that he had these lives, because he allowed Nicole to come on and explain herself. That's what I'm saying. If you're going to be racist, be racist. I don't think that she's racist. But she also did not own up to what she did. She was like, oh, well, I'm Afro-Latina. And then turned around.
And she started getting emotional.
Then she turned around and was like, oh, well, I'm Cuban. I thought they were the same thing. Like, no, you didn't. You wanted it to be an excuse. And now you're being called out in front of everybody. Them comments. Oh, my gosh, I was dying. But anyways, she never really owned up to it, versus when Fifi had his chance to kind of open up, he was like, you know, I apologize if I hurt anybody. That's just kind of how I grew up. That was my environment. That was this. Not to even excuse himself, but just being like, I now understand. And when people have brought it up to me, I didn't know it was an issue until it was brought to me. Now that it has been brought to me, I will do different. So my main thing is, if you're going to be that way, please be that way. If you're going to be that way and you don't know you're being that way and you get checked on it and you change, then you, like, there's that grace. You know what I mean? There's that grace. And I feel like we just have to be very, very conscious about when we're canceling, who we're canceling, and why we're canceling. And if it's really worth it, because there has to be room for education and stuff like that.
But are people still gonna be taking her classes when stuff opens back up? See that, like, I don't know. Like, I can't stand
honestly,
the canceling of people, but still the support. Like, that just crawls under my skin, because what are we canceling them for if y'all just gonna run back and be writing her classes? And are y'all still following her, and are y'all still seeing, because like that has a lot to do with your clout in the industry, is your followers and how many views your videos get. So are y'all still watching her videos? Are y'all still streaming her YouTube videos where she's teaching how to do certain dances? Are y'all still reposting her stories? So like, it's the,
I will say she took a hit though. She took a hit for sure, because a lot of people not really in the dance community were like really checking her. I'm not saying
checked her.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I think
Kaylani,
the singer. I'm not saying that I think people are not gonna go to her class, the singer. And but I do think people are gonna think twice, and they're gonna think of the association. I definitely think that, because yeah, we seen a lot in the comments,
and I think a lot of people also had an issue because her girlfriend is black. Her girlfriend considers herself black. So I don't really know how much that. Right. I don't really know how much that is true.
I think she's
her girlfriend is the skinny girl who be assistant of Leah Janelle, and her
Ariana. That's her girlfriend.
I guess she like real skinny. She got like
I didn't know that was
curly hair, light skin, or whatever.
But yeah, she looks like she's mixed with black. Yeah. But people that are mixed are black. So
right,
one drop.
But even like after like
I'm not talking about 1 in 162, 68 black.
About them one.
Your great grandmother was married to a black man. No, I don't want.
But I think like after like the whole JR thing and her going on live and explaining herself, then you started seeing her, because at first she made her page private.
Girl,
she made her page private once the whole thing got exposed, and then she made it public again. And now you're seeing like, now I think there's like 2 or 3 posts on her page. She's at a protest with her girlfriend and saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna stand by my girlfriend."
But see, that is so ingenuine to me. Like, that's the other thing about pressuring people to post. Like, do you want people to post and it's not genuine?
That's what I'm saying.
But anywho, next, who else canceled? Nelly and Lonnie, y'all still gotta give y'all.
T.I. has been canceled. You're not canceling T.I. for that Hyman thing alone?
No, he been canceled.
Yeah,
but calling Atlanta Wakanda, that's what?
But I'm not saying that I'm not canceling him, but I'm saying as far as like the whole cancel culture, I don't believe that as much as people saying that they're canceling T.I., I don't believe that they're canceling
But he's not really relevant.
But like, what do they have to support him on anyway?
Right.
Like,
Well, he is about to
T.I. before
about to
this.
start teaching this trap class at Clark, and I think that's
thinking about
dope.
trap class.
Some trap class about something. I think that's dope.
But they need to
There's
choose a
trap
different
stuff that
instructor.
Atlanta,
Yeah, they do need to
They
teach
need to
it.
choose
I
a
think
different
it's dope.
instructor.
I think
So
it's
you
dope.
would take his
You
class?
can think the class is dope, but they need to choose a different instructor.
Right, the idea of the class is dope, but you're
Right.
saying you would take the class. So you're
You
not
would take
canceling
T.I.'s class.
I have an issue with what he did with the whole Hyman thing. I don't know nothing about the Wakanda stuff. But no, I don't think I would cancel him, and I'm going to tell you why. Because, and it's not that I'm excusing it, because I was not okay with that at all. But I had a conversation with my dad, and I asked him what he thought about it. And he like, you know, I wouldn't do that, but I mean, a man is a man, and a man does this, and we kind of had that whole
Man, you need to check your
finish.
You
Let
need
me
to check your
finish.
friends.
Let
Not
me
a man is
finish.
a man.
Not a man is a man to excuse him, but to say from his point of view, like, he wants to protect his daughter. I'm not saying that that was the right way to go about it and blah, blah, blah. People have weird parenting tactics. People do this, people do that. Not even that my dad was agreeing with him, but just to sit back and be like, you know what? He did that stuff. It was with his daughter. It was messed up. Does that mean that I cancel you? Not necessarily. I don't agree with what you did, but am I canceling you? What else has he done outrageous that, what was the Wakanda thing?
It
He
wasn't
don't
even
say
the
stupid stuff all
Wakanda.
the
Yeah,
time.
he really
Like,
does.
he said stuff against women. He treats his wife terribly.
I think he thinks he's, because he uses big words, he can
Yeah.
say whatever he
I think
wants.
education
No,
really just
seriously.
made him right.
And
No,
like,
seriously.
and like I watched the T.I. and Tiny Friends and Family Hustle, whatever, and you
I
know
saw the clip and I was upset.
yeah, so you know they aired like the whole situation when it started, and to me, like, even after the whole red table talk and him going on there and like explaining like, oh, I didn't really realize what I did or whatever, but as you watch the episodes from the show, he was almost like, well, he literally said on the show, well, I didn't see it as a problem, so I don't know why it's important to her.
It was like a force for him to apologize.
And
Yes.
he, like, it wasn't a genuine apology. And she was so hurt by it.
She was
like,
hurt, and he didn't care.
And he didn't care. And it's like, you sacrifice you and your daughter's relationship nationally. Like, it was, yeah.
It's also like, you swear you're protecting your daughter, but like, shouldn't you care about your relationship with your daughter just as much as protecting her?
And I understand all of that. But for me personally, the reason why I'm not to say that, no, I just still don't think that I'm canceling him, but I don't really pay attention enough to him to be like, you're canceled. Like, I never hear about him. The Hyman thing was the first thing I heard in a long time since, what, ATL? Like, he's really out of sight, out of mind. I don't,
That's
like,
because
he's
nobody
not
listens
in
to
my,
him. Right.
he's not in my sphere. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying. Not that I agree with anything he does or what he says or how he treats women and stuff like that. It's disgusting. But he's not ever, like, I would probably never talk about him if that thing came up or see him and be like, oh,
So he was already
like,
canceled. So don't say you're not canceling him. Just say like he was already canceled.
he was just non-existent. He was just non-existent.
Okay. All right, Lonnie. So who you canceling?
I feel like we said everybody that I'm canceling. I feel like Naya was saying earlier off camera, a lot of people have been being canceled left and right, and it's like a lot of information and a lot of things being thrown at everybody that's so hard to keep up. So honestly, I just be seeing and I just be like, oh, okay, I guess. Like,
They
it's
canceled,
just
all
right.
right.
It's okay. Like, I mean, it's just something new every day. So it's really hard to keep up with everything and everybody and every business and every brand, and it's just too much.
And speaking of brands, I mean, there's a lot of brands that are getting canceled. Like, alongside influencers and celebrities, I feel like every day there's somewhere I can't eat or shop. But y'all got to tune into the next episode to talk about where we're spending our black dollar and where are we not eating, drinking, and shopping anymore. So until next time, thank you for tuning in. It's Too Early signing out.
Bye.